This is Jane's Videos, and today we are going to be talking about the halfway to Halloween releases from a bunch of different companies that I'm a little late on, but guess what? We're even closer than halfway to Halloween now. We have passed the halfway point, and Halloween is in only 5.5 months. That is crazy to think. And as we reach the summer, we are going to be seeing a lot more announcements of Halloween things to come, of course, because what comes after summer? Fall. Of course, we still have to get through the blistering heat of summer first, but hey, I've always seen summer as pre-Halloween. It's when the preparations for the fall truly begin for those of us who love this sort of thing, because fall is the season that comes next. And so, actually, there's one company in particular that I'm going to get into that promises a release every week, or a sneak preview every week, because they aren't released yet. A preview every week leading up to the summer, or even through the summer, I'd assume, of different animatronics that they're going to be having this upcoming Halloween season. I'll get to that company in a little bit. But first, I just want to talk about some of the smaller things. I mean, they're not small; they're still pretty major, but they're not new. They're not new products. It's just some things that happened. First things first, we got the official opening date of the Spirit Halloween flagship location this year, which is August 1st. Interesting, it's on a Thursday. I'm not sure why they chose to do that. I wonder if it's to combat the crowds, because the crowds have gotten so intense, they want to have them be a little less intense. I don't know. And so even if you aren't going to flagship, this is still a significant date, knowing that that's when the stores are going to start opening. Another thing that happened, Home Depot released some stuff. They released a few things for sale, and they sold out lightning fast. It was the Frankenstein, the 12-foot skeleton was re-released, the 12-foot skeleton dog. The dog's not 12 foot, but it's in size comparison to the skeleton. That was released. And there was one that we hadn't seen already, and it was the Inferno Deadwood skeleton. A lot of people don't like this one because it's basically just the Inferno pumpkin as like a tree. I like it. I think it's cool. I think it's a cool design. Yeah, it's a little lazy since it's literally just Inferno as a tree, but I still think it's a pretty cool looking design. I think it's neat. So the next one we're going to get into is Spirit Halloween, of course. We talked about the flagship. Now we're going to talk about the things they released for halfway to Halloween. First thing was Mars Attacks Ray Gun. Pretty cool. It was kind of a smaller release, nothing major. These other two are kind of smaller releases too. There was only one major one, but these are still pretty neat, especially for Spirit Halloween fans. There was the Nightmare Harvester statue, which is a lot like the other statues they've been making. This one I think is pretty cool. The next one's even cooler. It's a hanging Jack the Reaper, so the Spirit Halloween logo. Now this one has a very nostalgic feel to it, because I know they still use Jack. For some reason, this hanging prop is very reminiscent of the older logos from the early 2000s that Spirit had. I don't know why. I don't know if just for some reason my brain's connecting it like that, or if there's not really much. I mean, Jack hasn't changed much over the years anyways. There's been slight differences. You can tell the old one from the new one. This one looks like the older one to me for some reason. I'm not sure why. Let me know if you think that too, or if I'm just crazy. But nevertheless, it's really cool. I would be interested in getting this just to have hanging, because it's pretty neat. And not only is it a cool thing to represent like Spirit Halloween, he's just a cool looking Reaper in general. Like, if you just got it just because you think he's a cool Reaper, I mean, hey, he looks cool as is. I like him a lot. I think he's pretty neat. But the big thing that came out from Spirit is Rick Ratman, which is our first Spirit Halloween animatronic of the year. And this is an online-only one, unfortunately. There's some people who don't love it. There's some people who absolutely love it. I'm in the camp of people who love it. I think it's really well done, and a return to gore is great. I mean, we've gotten some scary props and some creepy props in recent years, of course, but there's not been a lot of gore for quite many years at Spirit. And this is a very, very gruesome animatronic and a very gruesome zombie with a great concept of being eaten away by the rats. It seems like a very old school type of Spirit thing, and I'm happy that they're doing gore. Some people say it looks cheap, all of this. Hey, I'm happy we got it. I think it's cool. I think he looks cool. I like his eye. I like his face. I like his sculpt. I like the rats. all of it to me looks pretty neat. I think it's a pretty cool animatronic. It's not one I'm going to get currently. It is one that I would definitely have on my radar for if I had a use for it in the future. For this year, I'm not going to have a use for it, so I'm not going to jump on it and buy it this year. But it is one that I really do like. And so maybe someday I'll get it. I don't know. As of now, I'm not, but it is a great animatronic. Last but not least, we're going to talk about Party City. So they released 3 things, and like I said, they said they're going to be releasing things through the summer, one every week. I don't know when that's going to stop and when they're just going to drop all of it. I would assume probably July or August. I think all 3 of these are very solid. First off, we have an animatronic Art the Clown from Terrifier, and I think this one's actually licensed Terrifier 2. And we also have another Terrifier 2 animatronic as well, which I'll get into that in a moment. I've always really liked the look of Art the Clown, and this is a very well done animatronic. The blood looks fantastic. There's so much. The face sculpt looks kind of weird, but for the most part, it looks very great. He's a very cool looking animatronic. I don't know if I'd get this one. If I rewatch Terrifier 1 and I watch Terrifier 2 and I wind up changing my whole opinion on the first one and absolutely loving the second one, then it's possible that I may get this just because this is so awesome looking and Art the Clown is a super cool looking character. This is a great animatronic, very well done, and to go along with it, they released the Pale Girl from Terrifier 2. Again, I haven't seen Terrifier 2, so I know absolutely nothing about her other than that he sees her in a laundromat or something. I've seen just parts of that. So this is a cool animatronic too. Looks great, has a cool animation, very cool. And the fact it's grabbing my attention and I haven't even seen Terrifier 2 kind of shows how well they did on this, that it can appeal to someone who hasn't even seen it, which I think is pretty cool. The last one is one that was actually released only a few days ago, and it makes me kind of glad I was late to this video because I could include it in this video instead of needing to make a separate video on it. I forget a name of him. He has a name, but it's a Pumpkin Groundbreaker. And not just a small one, a giant one, which goes with their giant skeleton one from last year. This guy's really cool. I've got my eye on him. I don't know if I'm going to get him, but it's a possibility because I've thought of places that he could go at the Fearville event that would look pretty cool. He'd look cool like above the sign, or he'd look cool being a groundbreaker as he's intended here. But he's very large and really cool looking. That he's one that I have my eye on because I feel like he could be a very cool asset to the main area of the event that can be used each year. I don't know how much he is. I would assume he's a little on the pricier side because he's so massive, but this is a cool one. That was all the halfway to Halloween stuff that we got. It was a lot, and I mean, like I said, Party City says they're going to be releasing even more every week through the summer, so I'm sure I'll be making more videos on those, not one each time one gets released. I'll probably wait for a couple of them, and then I'll make a video talking about a whole couple of them instead of making one each time. That's only like 2 minutes long. I'll probably make an all-encompassing one that talks about all of them together after they release a good amount. But other than that, I do have some more videos coming your way soon, possibly another Hauntcast. I was informed that Hauntcast is a YouTube channel, so I might change that name. We'll see. But the Haunt and Halloween podcast I started. We'll have another one your way soon. Short films, stuff like that. And through the summer, a lot more stuff regarding this year's Fearville, but also Halloween as a whole. And because we're already cranking down, we're already past halfway there. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think of these halfway to Halloween releases, and if you got anything that was released. Remember that here lies Halloween.